Hello, 380, Education 500 for the graduate students. Hope all is going well. It's Dr. Allen. We're going to do a few things today. I'm actually coming from my office on campus today. Sorry for the mess. I know it's a little disorganized. Not that you care. I'm getting a new desk. I'm very excited about that. So I'm moving some things around. We're going to do our lecture. It should be pretty straightforward. I do want to give a quick, I guess, apology, just to make sure, that we're all on the same page. A couple people, I think, got confused related to Google Classroom versus the website assignment. We're doing Google Classroom this week, which is week 3. Everything should always, what you have to do will be under the weeks. Boom, 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 boom. And I'll show you here in a second. But I will fully acknowledge, I think under the assignment tab, the date was wrong on Google Classroom. So what I'm saying, I know I sent an email out. I made the website due also, well, I need to alter it, but the website is due on September 12th, and Google Classroom will also be due on September 12th. I don't want people to have to do 2 technologies in the same week. It's just not fair, especially when there was a goof on Brightspace. But as long as you follow the syllabus or that list, you'll be fine. But if you did go to the directly to the assignment link, it was wrong. So there's no way around it. So if you did Google Classroom in week 2, just do the website this week and it's fine. Nothing's late and such. Some people might have already done both. I don't know. That's fine also. Just don't forget to do the discussion boards and the blogs also. They should be open. So as long as all that stuff is done by the 12th, I'm not going to lose any sleep over anything. With that being said, I'll pull it up, but we're just going to dive right in. We are doing Google Classroom. Last week was the website lecture. I will say I haven't read the blogs yet. I'm sure they'll be always interesting because usually Weebly, Wix, and such are always, they're usually one of the more unpopular things that we do in this class. But, I guess variety makes the world go around, right? Isn't that what they say? I don't know who they are, but anywho, I'm going to move my face over here. And I'm going to, whoops, I must have logged out. I'm going to go to our Brightspace page real quick. Also, I want to give kudos to everyone as a little bit of a stall here while I'm logging in. Everyone seems to be handling Brightspace pretty well. So that's good. I haven't had too many people ask for things. I think usually if there's a Brightspace issue, it's been on my end, not yours. So that's good. Long story short, when you get to the class, I am going to just show you, as long as you follow, week 3 is actually up, but I'll just show you real quick. As long as you follow this list, you should be fine. So like this week, it was website assignment, and there should be a link. Where the error was on my part, I'm going to point B, fully accept responsibility for this. When you clicked on here, I think I fixed it already, but Google Classroom was listed as the 5th also. There were 2 September 5ths here, and I'm wondering if anyone got a notice or anything. Again, there was a few people who did it. Actually, I think in the graduate level, the same thing happened also. I do apologize, but again, I'll change the website. If you did get confused, I'll take anything up until September 12th. That way, I feel like it kind of makes up a little bit and doesn't rush anyone for having to do 2 texts. Brightspace. I'll blame Brightspace. All righty. But for this week, the more important stuff, Google Classroom, I think the rubber is going to meet the road a little bit more this week, I think, as far as things you may actually see in the classroom. If you are in Washington County, you are actually going to probably experience Google Classroom. Jefferson County, I believe, moved to Canvas this year. I said this semester, this year. So they're not using Google Classroom as far as I know, unless they're letting teachers maybe kind of transition or integrate into it, or maybe they're using it on the side. Long story short, I think everyone's probably familiar somewhat with Google Classroom, but we'll kind of go over it. I think I said we'll kind of go over it. We're going to go over it. All right, here's what we got going this week. Let's cruise on down. Cruise. There we go. We're on the week of the 6th through the 12th. We are going to talk about Google Classroom. It says discussion 3 is related to remote or virtual classroom. I actually have the articles up on Google Classroom. The articles are on Google Classroom, discussion 3, and I'll show that to you here in a few minutes. I thought we just kind of keep it connected because there's a lot that you can do with Google Classroom, and then you're going to blog on Google Classroom. This week, we're going to look at Google Classroom. I want to show you HyperDocs. If you don't know what a HyperDoc is, you do probably, you just don't know it. And also, I do want to show you Jamboard. I am not an expert on Jamboard, but it is something that you can embed into Google Classroom. Google Classroom is great. I know I mentioned it last week. I'm not even going to pull up a PowerPoint or anything like this. I'm just going to just straight up tell you, Google Classroom is replacing a lot of websites. A lot of people like it as a home base. Again, I mentioned this though with the websites. Anything you put up on Google Classroom, I would make sure I have a backup on as far as docs or anything like that, because if you would happen to use a school or county Google Classroom site or login, you could potentially lose it. But with that being said, this week we're going to do Google Classroom. We're going to do discussion 3. We're going to do blog 3. And then we're going to have a good week and kind of go from there. So instead of me just sitting here babbling, I'll show you a little bit about Google Classroom and then kind of what I'm expecting you to do with it. So last week, I don't even know if I mentioned it. Shame on me if I did, but it's nothing big. It wasn't anything I was grading. You want to make sure you have a Google account to do this. I have a feeling 99% of you have a Google login sometime already. And if you do, that's fine. I have mine already in there. But when you go in there, you would just go over here to this thing, and there'll be something that basically says add an account or sign out. I'll just sign out right here. Hopefully I'll remember my login. Syncing is paused, continue. All right, so I'm out. So if you would sign in, you can add an account, use another account. You would click that and you would create one. They'll ask for backups to your cell phone and things like that. If you have your account made, as you can see, I'm going in here and I'm going to go ahead. Hopefully, oh, of course. Put it in there wrong. Now I'm back in. And here's what we're going to do. Sorry, I'm pausing. Long pauses in there. Okay. All right, maybe it's the office. Maybe I feel like I need to add the dramatic pause. When you get up here, there's like a waffle looking thing right there. You're going to click that, and there's all these things. There's the awesome YouTube. There's your Gmail. There's Meets. There's Chats. There's your Google Drive, which is very similar to OneDrive, which I may actually come back and talk about this today, just real quick to give you an idea. There's some things down here. We're going to talk about a couple of these. We're going to talk about Google Docs real quick tonight, this morning, today, this week, whatever I want to say. And also, actually, there was another thing on there. There's Google Arts and Culture if you're interested in that. Forms is on here. These are all great things. Jamboard. Of course, their version of presentations is on here too. I must have overlooked it, but it is also there. Oh, slides. Thank you. There it is. But with all that being said, once you create your account, once you hit the waffle board and get all this, there's something called Google Classrooms. I'm going to click that. Now I'm going to have a bunch show up, but don't worry about that. Once you get this, you're going to probably have a screen. It may look like this. Maybe you already have a Google Classroom that you're a part of. And if you are, that's awesome. If you are not, that's okay too, because there's a little plus sign right here. And it's going to say create or join a class. You're going to create a class. Yep, I totally understand. And I'm going to make up a name. I would tell you to do this. I would just create a name or a class that of a subject that you like. If you're elementary, and if you're obviously in a secondary content area, I would just do that. So I might do Mr. Allen's World History 1000 to 1500. And you can do all this if you want. Section 1, subject, social studies. Oops. Boom. And room 101C. And hopefully it should create. I think I cleared out some Google Classroom so there was space. And let's see what's going to happen. Yay, there it is. And as you can see, let me do my face again. I'm right there. Clicked on it. And I have a class code. And there's all this. Now, this is the cool thing about Google Classroom. I think, in all honesty, this is probably easier to use than, it's easier to use than a website. And also, I hope everyone hears this when I say this. Hopefully you're watching. If you are in a school, especially if you're a graduate student, I will not get, if you use your Google account that was provided by your school district or your county, it will not let me into your Google Classroom. So you do need to use like one like I just created. So you'll have to do something like this. You can't use the school ones. They won't let me log in. I won't be able to join. Here's some things on here just to show you around Google Classroom. If you're not familiar, you can change the background, as you can see, because I did world history. That just gave me like a great pot, but you can upload things and the themes. I'm not too worried about that today. There's a stream here, so you can say like welcome to class, and click it, and hey, welcome to class. There's all types of stuff that you can add here. That's your classwork. You can do your enroll students. There's the grades. There's classwork. You can create different things. So you hit here. I'm going to show you some of these, but you can embed things such as YouTube. You can get from your drive. It's all there. So let's just see. Let's see if I can whoops. Well, obviously you can add a topic. So I might do Battle of Hastings. Nice. Boom, that's there. And maybe I'm going to, go right over there. And there's things that you can add in on the folder. I'm kind of just giving you an overview at the moment. You can do an assignment. Let's do this. And as you can see, if you click assignment, I'm going to go back real quick. When you click create, when you're in classwork, and you click assignment, there's a whole little list down here. Move my face again. This thing keeps getting in the way. And you can see all this due dates, all that, so go on the calendar in the front. But maybe I'm going to do a video. We'll just do Battle of Hastings again. Oh, you know what? Yeah, that's fine. Sorry, I presented on something on teaching that not that long ago in instructions. Watch the video. You can actually embed YouTube videos in here. I hope I spelled this right. I always misspell it. This was a video that I've used before when I taught. I butchered that spelling, but luckily it is right there, so I'm not going to get too cute with this. The Bayeux Tapestry, and there's ones where there's cartoon ones and such, but I'll click this one, and I like that video, and it is now in my class. So let me assign that. And hopefully there it is. There's the video. And you can tell who turned it in or who watched it and things like that. And I could, of course, give a little more detail to it. There's your instructions, watch the video. Also, let's go back. Go back to my main page. Another thing that you can do, I'm going to jump out of here real quick. I mentioned hyperdocs. Hyperdocs are basically documents that anyone can work on. I'm just going to go to docs right now. So I'm looking at my face as I'm talking. It's kind of distracting to me and probably to you. Hyperdocs are things that students can continuously work on, and they can work on together. There's a lot of pluses to these. Maybe if you're doing virtual learning, you can create a document and everyone can type on it and work on it. You can lock the documents too, but it's just something that it automatically saves and continuously works. So if myself and another student were in a class and we shared this doc with us, if we're doing a research project together, we can all add to it and make edits. We've all worked with them. And that's just something I want to see if you all can embed this into the class. So for example, let's do this. I didn't do a chart or anything like that, but I could have the question of who were the major visualizations there. And you know, I have that. I can share it if I want, but I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with it. It should be, I'm going to go ahead and just title it. And I'm going to leave this. It's there. Now I'm going to go back to my classwork. I'm building to something here. Assignment, or we'll go there. And let me go to my Google Drive. Everything is saved in your Google Drive, and it should auto save. And as you can see, it's there. Actually, I was working on something. I'll show you that too. I've selected that, and that is now should be part of question. Yep. I'm going to assign it. And as you can see, it is in there now. So after students, I can rearrange all this, but after students watch the video, they can answer the question. If they're in groups, they can watch the video and then answer the questions together. So when I work on it, maybe someone else works on it. A HyperDoc is kind of nice, like I say, because you can do things like that and kind of brainstorm with it. This, I know a lot of English teachers have started using this as far as doing the writing process, especially when it was virtual. So maybe someone had a document that they completed for a book report and they can share it with other students to do some of the peer editing. You can, like I say, you can do group work. And I've actually seen students, another one that's on there, some people have asked if this counts as a HyperDoc. Yes, it will. And I'll explain that statement here in a second. But if you do Google Slides, I've seen people like work on different slides for a presentation that they have to do as a group and they've added it. That's all fine. A HyperDoc basically is just something that's there and everyone can work on. You can lock them, but I'm not worried about getting into that right now. The other thing, a lot of math teachers like to use this, and it's something I'll be the first to admit I'm still fiddling around with, and I will make sure to post a video up on it when I get everything open this weekend. But it's called Jamboard. I'm actually just going to click the one that I had open earlier. Maybe there it is. Jamboard is like basically just a whiteboard, and let's see if I can. I'm good with this. Yeah, let's erase it. So you can see a lot of virtual teachers, a lot of teachers when they were teaching virtually were actually using this to do things. But you can have students again. You can all have. It can be work as a HyperDoc. As you can see, you can share it and such. But it's got different things on here. You can do images and have people like do things to it. You can write on it. You know. 2 plus 2 looks like Z, but you know, 4. You can use this. It's just another tool I like to show. And like I say, it can work on things where you can have, if you share, people answer it and write on there. I've seen art teachers use it when they use images. As you can see, I was looking up things, but that is Jamboard. That's another thing that's kind of cool with Google Classroom that you can embed in your class. Anything else in the docs that I wanted to point out? I mentioned it. Forms is on there also. And all this stuff is in your Google Drive. That's just where everything is located, and it does save automatically if you don't know that. Now, why am I busting through all this stuff so quickly and just showing you different things? Because here's what you need to do. We're going to jump back to something real quick, and I'll show you. Let's go to assignments. I think I have it right there. Google Classroom. And it should have something posted up there. If not, I'll go back out. I thought I had put an attachment on there. I did. Let's see how slick I am. Will it open? There it went. Computer's a little slow. There we go. That's not what I want. That's a democratic classroom. If you're in 200, we were just talking about that. I think it's going to open it. Uh-oh, is it not responding? Oh, no. I've had, this was my Apple. I would call that the spinning wheel of death. Let's just get out of this. We got to abort this. Let's get out. Out. Get out. Oh. Uh-oh. Let's see. Nope, we're going to close it. We're out. I don't have several minutes. There we go. Go out. There we go. We'll just minimize it and let it figure itself out. Let's go back out to the, I know it's on the front. We'll reset here. This is just like a real live class, isn't it? Goof ups and all. All righty. Maybe I put that in there. Where did I put my Google Classroom? Let's try back again. All right. A little scared. I can just look at it there if I need to. Oh, there it went. Okay. Sorry for the delay there. All right. This is what you got to do this week. By the way, I need to say this. Google Classroom does a lot of the same things that the website does, and probably is more workable because you can collect assignments, you can grade within it, where you can't do that on a website. But it's a home base, and I don't think I used that terminology last week, and I probably should have. I think it's very important that you have a home base. Maybe I did use it, but you need a home base for your parents, your students, and all to go to get information. Google Classroom does that. If you don't like a website, Google Classroom is a great alternative. And again, you can have students submit things, grade things, they can submit forms and stuff like that. With that being said, here's what I really want you to do this week. View the video in Google Classroom. I've posted, I'm going to post a few. You don't have to just watch mine. I know maybe you don't like the sound of my voice. Maybe you don't like that I have tech issues in a tech class. I don't know, but I figure that's part of tech, right? View one of the videos on Google Classroom, and then you're going to read the instructions on creating a Google Space. And here's what you need to do. Once you create your space, you need to post one announcement. You need to embed a video in your class, and you need to post a hyperdoc, which is basically what I just showed you, but I'll do it again real quick. This hyperdoc can be anything. It can just be a question sheet. It can be a sign-up sheet for an assignment. It can be anything. It can be an editing sheet. It can be a brainstorm sheet. I don't care what it is. And some people have asked, what does my hyperdoc need to be? It can be a Jamboard. It can be a Google Slides. It can be a Google Docs. I don't care. As long as it's something that can be edited or worked on by more than one people, or more than one person. Also, you need to send an invite to me. Obviously, you probably won't be able to post this up on Brightspace. It seems to not be able to do the links unless you want to do a Word document and then post it on there. But you can just send me the link or post it up on Brightspace. Either works. A lot of people have been just emailing me the Google Classroom spaces already. I think they're working a little bit ahead. That's fine. Just email it to me. I have a folder and I'm throwing them all in. And that's kind of it. But let me go back out. Glad that opened. Let me go back to that and that. So you're going to go here. You're going to actually create your class. If no class, I don't care what your announcement is. Because of snow, please view the video located classwork. Class rock, class work. And you're going to post that. That's one part of your assignment. Next thing, you're just going to do a video, create. I don't care. You could do a question on there, but I kind of want you to do the hyperdoc. These are all cool things, and you can fiddle around with them. But you're going to hit assignment. You're going to hit a video. Again, we'll just do William Hastings, William the Conqueror. And there you go. The brutal execution of William Lord Hastings. There you go. That's actually not the one that I wanted. He doesn't associate with that. I don't want it to look bad. There we go. English Heritage is better. All right, let's click that. That video is there. Do one, just give it a title. Instructions are nice if you want to put it in due dates and all, but I think as long as you get it up, I'm fine. And that's one thing you need to do. Boom. So one, and there's the video. And then you're going to attach a Google Docs or a slide or whatever. You can go to your drive after you create it. You're going to click that. I'm just, for simplicity's sake, going to just pick something that doesn't look too off the wall that I can put in here. There's a lot of stuff in there, actually, isn't there? Some of this is old stuff. We'll just pick that. It's my son's, one of my son's exercises, and we'll just say review form. Just give it a title. And post it. And guess what? Announcement, video, HyperDocs. You're going to send me the link. You're going to go back out. Stream. You can send me the code, or if you need to, should be able to share it. That's usually the best way to go. Class code. Let's see. There you go. Copy invite link. And you see I clicked it, and you can email that to me, or you can just post it on, you can put it on a Word doc and submit it on Brightspace. Do not worry if I click it and it doesn't work and I email you. It's no big deal. It happens all the time. It might be something, an issue on my end, but I might ask you to resend me something, or it might say that I don't have access. If it won't do it, it might mean that you just need to resend something. And don't worry if it is. I don't take off for that or anything like that. It's just part of the Google thing. That's Google Classroom. Like I say, it's a benefit. The pros are very similar to the websites, but maybe even more so. As you can see, when you have assignments, you can go in there, and when you have students in your class and they turn things in, you can grade it and such. I have a feeling a lot of you are familiar with it. You may have even used it in some classes at this point. I think it's actually pretty cool. Actually, there's an invite there. You can do that too. And there's the invite link if you want to invite students. That's probably sometimes what a lot of people prefer to do. So you can do this one, or you can go here and hit that. I will have other videos up if you don't enjoy my video. But that's kind of it. And again, you have until the 12th to do this. If you've already done it, you're good. Just make sure that you check out discussion. I think I'm positive I put the discussion board up for this week already. Yep, there it is. I know it says virtual learning. I put it up actually as a Google Classroom one though. I kind of thought that's virtual learning, and you can kind of get into the ins and outs if you think Google Classroom is something that's how would you use it is basically what I want to get to. It's a hypothetical question. And also, don't do this to me. I know I put it on there, and I'm not trying to be smart. It's just I want to make sure everyone's thinking a little bit about the topic. Say you're thinking, well, I'm going to teach in Berkeley County, and they use Schoology. That is very, 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 very true. I cannot argue that point. But I want you to think that if you had to use Google Classroom, how would you use it? There's some ed tech stuff, magazines, if you want to check them out. They're just short articles. And again, you can just do a review on this if you would. Again, you can do a lot more with Google Classroom, and you can build it. But really, the main things I want you to do this week are: one, create your site, make sure you have a login, put an announcement up, put a YouTube video up, and put some sort of HyperDocs in there. It can be a Jamboard, it can be a Google Docs, it can be a slides, it can be forms, which I didn't even pull up. I can do that real quick. Most people, I'm thinking, have seen a Google Forms before, but if you haven't, it's right down there. It's the survey tool, and we can click one. You've probably done a bazillion of these. You can ask questions. Actually, my son has a teacher right now in 7th grade who very much likes to use Google Form for like questions and such. You can embed these in there, and you'll get the assignments in. Once you're enrolled, you'll see if people are completing them or not. And as you can see, you can embed cool stuff in them, add videos and all. The purpose of this class is to introduce you to the tech. I would really play around with Google Classroom. I do have to admit, it is something that I think you could really build a rocking world almost for your students, and maybe have a good home base for things. So Google Classroom. Hope everyone's been doing an awesome job. I apologize for that assignment that had the 12th and the 5th. I felt bad about that. I don't think it threw too many people off, but I can definitely understand if it did throw anyone off, because it was listed as the 5th. Sorry, things moving over to Brightspace. I thought I caught all that stuff, and it was probably from last semester when we did a Sakai transfer. But if you see anything like that before, please email me. I don't want anyone. Usually it's going to be one tech, one discussion, one blog. You shouldn't usually have two texts. And also don't forget, I know some of you have already been doing it or asking questions. Don't forget that you do have the Apple certification, Google certification, if you're going to do that. It needs to be done before the end of class. And I think that is it for this week. So I hope everyone's semester is going very well. Please be safe this weekend. Hope you get a little bit of rest or get to do something fun on the long weekend. And I hope everyone was safe during the Ida flooding, rain. It looks like a lot of the real bad stuff went north, but I'm sure we still had some people in Maryland. I think I saw had some really bad areas. So with that being said, have a great, let me stop sharing. Have a great Labor Day weekend. I know I babbled a little bit, but again, Google Classroom, the tech is create the Google Classroom, put an announcement on there, put a video on there, put a HyperDocs on there. It'll be good. Be a form that you can edit. Send me the invite either by email or you can put it on a Word doc or, well, a Word doc and just post it up on Brightspace. Either way works. And with all that being said, I want to stop talking and wish everyone a happy Labor Day. So this will be after Labor Day when you view this, but I hope the Labor Day is good. Bye.